Hi folks, welcome back to the Decoy Shed. It's late summer in central Illinois and duck season's just around the corner. So I've been getting my gear out and getting it cleaned up, ready for the season, and I thought it'd be a good idea to pull the old Nelly gun out and tune it up a little bit. Now I'm no expert, but I know one, so let's go over and see what Dave has to say. Folks, wanted to introduce you to my friend Dave Luddington. Dave is an old gunner's mate from his Navy's days. He's a retired police officer, he's a shooting instructor, and he's an expert marksman. Dave, thanks for being with us today.
Hey Tim, thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to practice for the season coming up. And you know, I've heard about this thing called patterning your shotgun. What can you tell me about that?
The best thing I can tell anybody watching this is take a page out of the turkey hunter's playbook. These turkey hunters, for the most part, are intimate with their shotguns, and that's what we hope to get you today, is intimate with your shotgun, knowing which choke tube, which shot shell works best for you in the application of waterfowl hunting that you're going to be doing.
Great. Now the first thing would be safety, right?
Absolutely. When we're doing this, we're going to be wearing safety glasses, hearing protection at all times. No reason to go deaf even at my old age.
Great. So how do we get started?
Okay. First thing we need to do is find out what shotgun you're going to start with, and obviously this is it. So what choke tube have you anticipated on using this season?
Well, when I shoot clays, I normally shoot cylinder, and I do pretty good, so I thought I would shoot a cylinder choke.
You know what? Why don't we just start there? We're going to start at a moderate range, a realistic range for shooting waterfowl. We'll start at 25 yards. We'll start with your shotgun and a cylinder choke tube. Now, what shot do you typically shoot?
Well, I was thinking I would shoot twos because I wanted a little heavier shot for a more effective kill.
You know what? That's a good place to start. Let's just get to it. Okay, Tim, just like we talked about earlier, we're going to use these as our sight-in targets. So basically, when we shoot these patterns, we're looking for a tight pattern between these third white rings. And that way we get an approximate size of a teal. Make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay, as soon as I clear down range, go ahead and take a knee, get a nice steady bead on that red dot on that target down range, and give me one shot. Make it a nice, comfortable shot. Okay?
Got it.
So Tim, you fired that shot at 25 yards. Were you pretty confident that your front bead was right on that red dot?
Right on it.
Okay, what we're going to do, we're just going to go down, we're going to mark the target 25 yards, and we're going to repeat this process at 35, 45, and 50 yards, okay?
Great.
All right. So Tim, we just shot the shotgun that you're going to be hunting with at 25 yards with a cylinder choke tube. We tried 3 different ammos. Now, I always say you want to get the smallest pattern possible. That way you get a good, clean, effective kill shot, right? So if we use the 3 white lines as our kill area, this is your first shot at 25 yards, cylinder choke tube again with Spectre shot number 2. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hits in there. Are you happy with that one? Or were you surprised by the results?
Yeah, I was really surprised at how much spread I had on that with that choke tube.
Okay, well let's check your second target with a different shotgun load. This was a number 2 Federal, am I right?
That's correct.
Okay, same choke tube, same range. But look at your spread pattern. It's a little bit to the right, and you were still aiming here, right?
Correct.
So that particular shot pattern out of that shell, out of that gun, decided to pull a little right. Hey, better be in front of the duck, behind the duck, right? But let's look at our kill area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Almost identical, yeah, 9. Almost identical results. Just your pattern shifted a little bit to the right. Now your third shot, you used number 4 Winchester 3-inch, right?
Correct.
Okay, so your pattern looks pretty even, but let's look at our 3 lines in our kill area. You ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in the kill area. The reason for that is there's a lot more BBs in a number 4 shell. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
But understanding that, were you happy with the performance of that choke tube?
No, I'm not confident that this would produce consistent ethical kills at 25 yards.
Okay, something we may want to try before we move back to further ranges. increase the restriction on the choke tube by maybe going to an IC cylinder or an improved cylinder choke and repeating this process to see if we can tighten this up. Because if you're not happy at 25 yards, Tim, you're definitely not going to be happy at 35, 45, and 55 yards. Would you agree with that?
I do.
Okay.
Let's give that a try.
All right, let's repeat it. Go ahead and put your improved cylinder in and we'll give it another try.
Great.
Okay, so what we've done is we've shot multiple shots with different shells, and we've actually gone from cylinder to improved cylinder to a modified tube. Do I have that correct?
That's right.
And we've done the same step each time. Every time we changed choke tube, we shot all 3 of your rounds to see which one would pattern best. And at 25 yards, what do we have? We have a modified tube with number what?
Number 4 Winchester.
Okay, so I'm going to let you count from the 3rd ring in. Tell me how many hits you have from the 3rd ring in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 23. 23
hits compared to all those other choke tubes with all the shells. You have doubled the hit count in your kill zone.
Right, and it looks like the pattern is more evenly distributed as well.
It is. I mean, this is just perfectly peppered by those shell, you know, the shot in that shell. But what is more impressive is that, like in this little area, you have just got such a nice tight pattern, and that is about the size of a teal. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. Yep.
If you can hit a teal, you can hit what?
I can hit a mallard.
You can hit a mallard. If you can hit a mallard, you
can hit a goose.
There you go. Good job. So now that we've determined the shell and the choke tube, now we got to find out what your max effective range for this combination is going to be. So let's move back to 35 yards.
Okay. This is going to be a 35-yard shot, number 4's modified choke tube. .45 yards, modified choke tube, number 4's. I'm going to give this one a try at 55 yards, modified with number 4's.
You know, Tim, when we were shooting those static targets, you had that nice red dot out there, but wasn't that incredible how it kind of disappeared as you moved back?
Yeah, all I could really see was the black circle.
Yeah, you know what would be a good demonstration? That if you went down range and held this target and showed those people exactly the perspective that they're going to see at those different ranges. What do you think?
That's a great idea. So this is about the size of the kill zone of that teal we were talking about.
Exactly right.
So let's see what it looks like at those different ranges. 25 yards, 35 yards, 45 yards, 55 yards.
All right, Tim, let me get these ears and eyes off and we'll talk about your targets a little bit. So we've just been on our mock range with our targets and we did some shooting, and I think you had an eye-opening experience.
You bet, absolutely.
I mean, what happened to us at 25 yards with that improved cylinder tube?
Oh man, that thing was this wide and not much in the middle.
Yeah, and you know what? And most people will just pick that shotgun up from a dealer, throw in that improved cylinder or cylinder tube, buy a box of shells and go hunting, and then go, why'd I miss that dud?
Right.
And as you saw on the range, oh my goodness. But what they didn't see us talking about is when we started moving back. You want to talk about those targets a little bit?
Yeah, let's take a look at those.
All right. So, we'll get to these long range targets in a second. But let's take a look at our what we ended up with. Now we ended up with a modified choke tube with Winchester number 4 3-inch, right?
Right.
And by far, your pellet count was huge over the number 2s, and even huge over the number 4s with the improved cylinder and cylinder tube. I mean, you had how many hits in that?
23.
23 hits at 25 yards. Now that's the size of a teal, and like we talked about out there, if you can hit a teal, you can hit a mallard, and if you can hit a mallard,
you can hit a goose.
There you go. So then we moved Tim back to 35 yards. I guess we can put these down and talk about 35 yards. Now, another eye-opening experience. We had that really nice tight pattern at 25. Where did we wind up at 35?
Well, it's still a good pattern, but it's fewer shot than what I would have expected.
Where'd you wind up?
I think there was about 12 or 13 in our kill zone.
Okay, and our kill zone again, just to remind everybody, was the third line out from center. That's about the size of a teal. Now, we moved you back to 45 yards. And wow, huge.
Major difference. Now, I know you folks can't see this, but there are only about 5 pellets in this kill zone at 45 yards.
Now, we went to what I would consider an extreme range. Tim, you know me. I like engaging my waterfowl between 25 and 35 yards.
Right.
But we have those friends that want to jump up at how far?
Well, 50 plus yards. So we gave it a try at 55, same setup, modified choke, number 4 shot, and I've got 2 pellets in this target within that kill zone. So I don't really think that would make for an ethical attempt at a kill shot.
And that's considering the setup we shot at 25 yards that would just totally give you a nice, clean, ethical kill, right?
And a stationary target.
Exactly. Now, here's the thing that we've done here. We found our effective range. For you, with your gun, with your setup, is how far?
Between 25 and 30 yards, I'd say.
Okay, now we're going to go into the next step of the process, Tim, and that's going to be putting you in your hunting position, which is typically what?
I'm a layout hunter primarily. I use layout blinds in the field, and I use layout boats on the water.
So I tell you what, without you knowing it, and the little minions that work for you, we've set out your layout blind. We didn't have a lake to put you in your layout boat, but we put your layout blind out in the middle of the field, and we've got a clay thrower standing by. You ready to try to bust some of those targets with your gun, with your shells?
Let's go see how this works.
All right, let's try it. All right, Tim, now this is your normal hunting position, whether you would be in the layout box or hunting in a field, is that correct?
That's right.
All right, do me a favor, show me when I say pull, you're going to come up and give me a mount and show me how you're mounting the shotgun as you're coming up, all right?
Got it.
Okay, so the duck's coming in, it's coming in, pull, pull. Okay, not really a bad mount, but did you feel a little awkward when you were doing that?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you had a lot of wasted movement because your first movement was gun up, forward, then you started coming up. Now you tried to find your shoulder. Now once it was on the shoulder, now you had to get your head down on the stock, and that duck was already on the ground before you got in a good solid firing position. Okay, a trick that I can try to help you with to get a nice smoother mount is actually bring your shoulder to the gun. So it's going to be a 2 movement, gun up, shoulder to the shotgun. And that way your cheek should go right into the butt of that shotgun. So let's try another one, all right?
Okay.
All right, pull. Did that feel better?
Much better.
And it's a lot quicker. You didn't have any of that wasted motion, and you looked a lot smoother, which means you're a lot more comfortable. All right, so now we're going to try a live target. And again, we're going to be using your hunting loads with the choke tube that you just patterned, and we're going to see what that looks like on a clay target. All right?
All right.
Pull! Nice mount. You came right up shoulder to the shotgun instead of the shotgun to your shoulder, but you were a little low. Did that surprise you?
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and again, you know, a lot of guys will come out here with these target loads to shoot at clays, and that's good practice, don't get me wrong, but the best practice in the world is use that load that you're going to be hunting with. So on this one, all you need to do is follow through with the muzzle. In other words, stay on target, follow through, even after you pull the trigger, all right?
All right.
Pull! Nice follow through, and that bird crushed. That's exactly what you want to see when you're duck hunting, is that nice smooth follow through even after you took the shot. Great shot. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to step away. I'm going to let you call for some targets, and I want you to break about 4 or 5 for me, okay?
Great.
And
Pull! 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 From time to time I do hunt out of a boat, so I shoot from a sitting position. So I'm going to practice a couple of these shots from this sitting position. Pull! Pull! Dave, that was great, shooting those different shots with those hunting loads. So do you have any other tips for me?
Yeah, you know, shooting around a clays will help any shooter learn how to lead, learn how to follow through. But the better trick was what we did today, actually take those faster hunting loads, which are typically 250 to 350 feet per second faster than your typical target load.
Right, that's a great point.
Yeah, so it's a really important drill that you're already sighting in your gun, set up a clay thrower and have some fun with it too.
So, okay, so let's just review. So we need to pattern our guns to make sure that we know how they're shooting and where it's hitting. And then we need to practice the types of shots that we're going to encounter in our hunting environment. And then where do we go from there?
Well, again, part of that sighting in was to find our effective range. So remember your effective range.
Right.
So get a life-size bird out there and set it out at that known effective range and practice bringing your gun up. What that's going to do, it's going to build in that muscle memory. That duck's too far. That duck's too far. That one's in range. So there's a nice tip for you.
Okay.
The other tip that I would tell any shotgunner, and I know there's a growing population of people that refuse to do this, keep your shotgun clean. And it doesn't take a whole lot of tools to do that. When I'm traveling, I take some kind of CLP product. My favorite is G96,
right,
but there's break-free CLP, and what CLP means is cleans, lubricates, and protects. You get it all in one product. G96 or break-free CLP, great products. The other simple tool you need is an old piece of a t-shirt. Now you can wipe off all that grime, mud, dirt, debris that's in your action on the outside of your shotgun. Let's face it, we paid a lot of money for these tools.
Right.
We need to make sure that our tools are going to work for us when we need it. And last but not least, instead of taking that great big long metal cleaning rod with you, go spend 20 bucks on a boar snake and throw it in your bag. It doesn't take up a lot of room. Put it in a plastic bag with your rag next to your can of spray. Keep your shotguns clean, because you know what? When you need it the worst, that's when it's going to fail on you, so keep them clean.
That's great. Any other tips that you can give us is if someone wants to go out and research loads or chokes or any of that type of thing, where could they go to find that information?
You know what? A lot of times when I'm teaching shotgun or wing shooting clinics or something like that, I'll get that same question. Best advice I can give to somebody like that is get Sporting Clays magazine. Inside this magazine, you're going to find articles on choke tubes, on shot loads, on hunting scenarios, the new products that are coming out on the market for shotgunning. It's a great tip for low money, and guess what? It's great reading, written by great people. So I get Sporting Clays magazine. Great asset.
Terrific. Dave, thanks again. We appreciate it so much. I'm sure the viewers are going to love this segment. I hope you picked up some great tips today. I know I did. I'm feeling really confident about my shells and choke selection for this year. Wanted to extend a big thank you to Dave Ludington for sharing his expertise and advice with us. And he left us with another tip he wanted me to share with you, and that is for you guys that are hunting with multi-barrel guns, make sure that you pattern and practice with both barrels. As you can see, these results were my results one day with one gun. Get out there and pattern your own shotgun. Practice those shots that you normally encounter when you're duck hunting so that you'll have better results this year. I want to extend a great big thank you to Jim Crowley of Hook and Hunt TV. He was our host today as we shot this segment. I also want to say thanks to Select Screen Printing of Bloomington. They keep us looking good while we're on the road. Like us on Facebook at The Decoy Shed so you'll get notices when we post new video segments. I'm Tim Spate, and I'll see you next time in The Decoy Shed.